The Beggar King. Once a country was ruled by a king who had no son to succeed to the throne. Since the king was getting old, he wanted to select a suitable heir to rule the country. The king sent out notices throughout his country. The notices invited every qualified young man in the country for an interview with the king. The outcome of the interview with the king would decide a possible successor to the throne. The only qualification for the candidate was that they should have immense love for their fellow human beings. Every young man across the country was very excited at the possibility of being the ruler of the country. A poor young man from a remote village also read the notice and started to prepare for an interview with the king. The man was a kind, hard-working lad, but he was very poor due to various circumstances. The man had no good clothes to be presentable in the sight of the king. So the young man worked really hard and saved some money to buy him proper garments and supplies to support him for a long journey to the palace. After he got his supplies and proper attire for the interview, the young man set out on his quest. He traveled many days and had almost completed the journey when he came upon a poor beggar by the side of the road. The poor beggar sat trembling in the cold, covered only in tattered rags. The beggar extended his arms and pleaded for help. His weak voice croaked, "I'm hungry and cold. Please help me, sir." The young man was so moved by the pathetic condition of the beggar that he immediately stripped his new attire and offered it to him. He also provided him with the very limited food he had carried for the journey. The beggar thanked the man immensely. Since the man had given up his good clothes to the beggar, he was a bit hesitant to go for the interview. He however gathered enough courage to enter the palace in his old dirty clothes. Upon his arrival at the palace, a king's attendant showed him the way to the great hall. After a short respite to clean off the journey's grime, the man was admitted to the throne room for the interview. The young man bowed low as the king entered the room. When he raised his eyes, he gasped in astonishment as he noticed that the king looked very similar to the beggar he met on the way. The king saw the shock in the man's eye and said, "Yes, I was the beggar you met on your way. But, why did you dress up like a beggar? You are king. Well, then, why did you do this to me?" the young man stammered after gaining some composure. "Because I had to be sure that you had a good heart and genuinely love your fellow human beings," said the king. "I knew that if I came to you asking, you would have done anything to impress me. But that way I would never have known what is truly in your heart. So I used a ruse." Beggar had nothing to offer you. The generosity and love to the one in need without expecting anything in return is the sign of a great heart. Looking at your love and generosity towards the beggar proved that you sincerely love your fellow human beings. This country needs a leader who would work for the welfare of all of the nation, not just ones who would offer and cater to the throne. "You have proved that you are the right person to be my successor," promised the king. The next story. The Fox and the Goat. One fine evening a fox was roaming around in the dark while it fell into a well. The water in the well was shallow for it to survive the drowning, but the pit was too deep for it to jump off. The fox tried its best to come out, but all was in vain. So, it decided to remain there until the following day when the other animals will come to the well. The next morning the fox heard a voice. "What are you doing there?" the squeaky voice said. The fox looked up to see the goat passing by the well. He thought he should make use of the innocent and silly goat to get himself out of the well. "I came here to drink water," replied the sly fox. "It is the best water I have ever tasted. Come and drink the water for yourself." The goat jumped into the well without thinking twice. The goat quenched its thirst and looked for a way to get out. But just like the fox, it also found itself helpless to come out. Then the fox said, "I have an idea. You stand on your hind legs. I'll climb on your head and get out. Then I shall help you come out too." The goat was very innocent to understand the shrewdness of the fox and did as the fox said and helped him get out of the well. But, the fox did not come back to help the goat as promised. The goat cried for help but the selfish fox did not care. While walking away, the fox said, "Had you been intelligent enough, you would have never got in without seeing how to get out." Moral: look before you leap. Do not just blindly walk into anything without thinking. The next story. Broken eggs. A young boy was cycling with a basket full of eggs on it. Unfortunately, he came across an unseen bump on the road and lost his balance. He fell alongside the cycle while the eggs he was carrying fell and broke. A crowd gathered around the poor boy while he slowly tried to collect whatever remained from the savage. Free advice and taunts started flowing from the crowd of onlookers as usual. You should have been more careful. What were you thinking while riding your cycle? An older man emerged from the crowd, looked at what had happened, and with a concerned look on his face, he said, "Poor little fellow, what will he answer to the owner of the eggs? How will this ordinary boy pay for the cost of all these broken eggs? I will help him as much as I can." The man then handed over $10 to the boy and said, "The people in this part of the town are very good people. They will not only give you good advice, but they will also help you by giving money so that you can pay your master for the loss you may have caused due to the accident." Having heard what the older man said and observed his action, the crowd gave money to the boy. The young boy was delighted since the money collected from the group was over the worth of his broken eggs. The boy thanked the crowd for their help and generosity, and while he was preparing to leave, a man from the crowd came and patted the boy's shoulder and said, "Young man, you should be thankful to that older man if he wasn't around. I do not know what difficulties you would have faced with your owner." The boy looked at the man and said, "Sir, I will thank him when I reach the shop. He is the owner of the shop where I work." Moral of the story: clever minds will find ways in the hardship instead of getting frustrated when life throws obstacles. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thank you very much.